go through the numbers, and then I'll give you my analysis of the ranked choice elections in the New York City mayor's race. Number 1, Eric Adams. He's got 179,031%. Maya Wiley, 126,000. 22%. Kathryn Garcia, 120,021%. Andrew Yang, 68,000 and 12%. Scott Stringer, 31,000, 5%. Diane Morales, 16,000, 3%. Raymond McGuire, 14,000, 2.43%. Sean Donovan, 13,000, over 2%. Aaron Foldenauer, just under 5,000 votes. Art Chang, just over 4,000 votes. Paperboy Prince, just over 2,000 votes. Jocelyn Taylor, just, 1,600 votes. And Isaac Wright Jr., 1380. So right now, Isaac Wright Jr. is the biggest loser. He's the biggest loser. Right off the top, Maya Wiley is losing to Eric Adams by, let's see, it's 181,000 now to 127,000. It just switched on me. But that's 53,000, right? So you got a 53,000 vote. It's been about 50,000, 53,000. It does look like Maya Wiley is breaking more away from Kathryn Garcia. 88% of the vote has come in. 88%, which is 589,338 votes. So 589,338 votes, 88% is reporting. That's important because you can find out how many total votes there are. Well, total votes, there's, 600,000. There's 636,000 votes left. The reason why I did this math is because somebody told me that Yang had conceded. He had said, well, fuck, I lost, But the ranked choice voting hasn't been fucking kicked in. This is just the first round pick. There's going to be at least 12 more rounds. Andrew Yang could get everybody else's votes and still become mayor, okay? He could actually still become mayor with just the votes that could come in right now. So, okay, he's got an abysmal, 69,000, right? So Andrew Yang only got 69,000, so that's about what? 70, 30, that's about, he's 111,000 away. Can Andrew the Yang make up 111,000? I think so. Maybe not, I don't know. The way you would figure that out is you would count all these other ones up, and so if they don't equal above 100,000, but let's Andrew the Yang, it's not done and over for with Andrew the Yang, and I'll give you 3 reasons why. Number 1, you haven't done the ranked choice voting, and the ranked choice voting, let's just go ahead and count them. It doesn't look like it's 100,000. It looks like it might be 60,000. So if everybody under Andrew Yang is knocked out and he gets all their votes, that's 60,000 votes, right? And then you have another, 336,000 votes to go, so that's still 40,000 votes. So there's 60,000 votes with the ranked choice tabulation, so you could get, 60,000 votes need to be redistributed. You still have, 594,000, you still got 40,000 votes that still haven't came in tonight. So we still have to wait for 40,000 votes tonight. 60,000 votes could have gone into his coffers after the ranked choice tabulation. And then you got the absentee ballots. Don't forget about the absentee ballots. So that's 40,000, that's 60,000. We almost got 110,000. How many absentee ballots do you have? It's COVID. People are going to send in their absentee ballots, written ballots, send it in by mail. Don't have to go out there with the hustle and the bustle. And so the absentee ballots, there's, I saw some numbers that said it could be low and it could be high. So I'm just going to guess 10 to 20%. 10 to 20% of the New Yorkers did absentee ballots, okay? Just made the number up, okay? So I guess we could say 15%. So that's an estimated 64,000 if you just say 10%. Let's just, average is the best math. But let's go with the lower side. Let's assume there's 10% of all New Yorkers did absentee ballot. 10%, but that's still a fucking chunk. 10% of, 640,000 is 64,000. So that's 64,000 votes still to be counted. So that's 60 plus 40, that's 100,000 plus 64,000, that's 160,000. If Andrew Yang gets all those votes, then he could win. Now, I can understand that, he might start feeling like it's a long shot and he don't want to, he don't have to go through all the bullshit just to find out that he fucking lost, and fuck it, he lost. And, I can understand that. He's a math guy, he's a numbers guy. Most likely it doesn't look like he is going to win. So then that means Kathryn Garcia, Maya Wiley, and Eric Adams are your top 3 candidates. If Andrew the Yang has no chance, then Scott, Diane, Raymond, Sean, Aaron, Art, Paperboy, Jocelyn, and Isaac, none of them have a chance either. So that means it just comes down to Eric Adams, Maya Wiley, and Kathryn Garcia. But I still think Andrew the Ying is calling it quits way too fucking early. I just counted up 160,000 votes, so just take 160,000 minus 184,000. If you got 25,000 votes, you stay in this race. So unfortunately, that means Scott stays in the race, and Diane and Raymond and Sean and the rest drop out. But that's, you could get, there's still 160,000 votes out there, you know, for grabs. There's still 40,000 for tonight. There's 60,000 votes that can be redistributed through the ranked choice tabulation, and there's 64,000 probably estimated absentee ballots. It's going to take a week, and then there's another week that they could cure those ballots, so that's another 2 weeks. Frankly, I was just going to say a month total. But once you get all the votes in, once the absentee ballots are in, and then once everything's been cured, it should be 14 days. At 14 days, the ranked choice tabulation should kick in. And then at 14 days, when you tabulate the ranked choice, then you know the victor. Then you know who won, for sure. So Eric Adams is the big winner so far. He's the plurality winner. He's the plurality winner, and it does look like the top three. But frankly, like I said, if, you know, 25,000 votes could still be, so Andrew and Scott should, you know, stay in because it's still possible. But let's assume that everybody's a bunch of losers except for the top three: Eric Adams, Maya Wiley, and Kathryn Garcia. Well, what does that mean? Well, that's another conversation now, isn't it? Eric Adams, Maya Wiley, Kathryn Garcia. Kathryn Garcia is very close to Maya Wiley. Maya Wiley is a progressive. Eric Adams was a conservative. There's a shit ton of conservatives. Kathryn Garcia seems like she took more of the conservative votes away. Maya Wiley, being the lone progressive, perhaps she may get the second, third, fourth, fifth. Maya Wiley was my fifth choice. Number one was Paperboy. I went between Jocelyn and Paperboy Prince, between my number one and number two picks, and then Diane Morales, and then Isaac Wright Jr., who actually was the ultimate fucking loser. So we did not use, New York, you did not do ranked choice voting correctly, you know, okay? You did not give the long shot candidates a fucking chance. And then Maya Wiley was my fifth choice. So Maya Wiley was up there. Maya Wiley was up there, but basically the way I voted was I wanted, you know, I wanted my Diane Morales, which I guess she was kind of an underdog apparently, way bigger of an underdog than what I had thought. And Paperboy and Jocelyn and Isaac Wright Jr. a chance. That being said, the way my ballot would have gone down, Paperboy, Jocelyn, Isaac, and Diane, once, you know, round whatever, 7, once they're all knocked out, my vote would ultimately go to Maya Wiley. So that means if I would have voted in New York City's election, the way I just told you that I would have voted in it, that means Maya Wiley hasn't got her vote from me yet. She isn't going to get my, you know, my vote for her until 2 weeks from now, which would, you know, which would make no sense. Like Andrew the Yang, I guess it's kind of on the fence, a little bit close. You know, I think actually even, you know, Scott should stick in with just by the fucking numbers, but I could see Andrew's, you know, argument. No fucking way. If Kathryn or Maya or Eric says, we're done, they are stupid as shit, okay, because they're in the top three, and it's anybody's ball game. It's, okay, so the difference between 185 and 131 is, what, 54,000 again, so it's about 50,000, 54,000 difference. So 54,000 difference can be made up with the tabulation of ranked choice voting. 54,000 can be made up with the absentee ballots. So it's anybody's ball game. Eric Adams is, you know, in first place. He's got 31% of the vote. He's got most of the votes. Traditionally, he's got the plurality. So if we were just to do this election and just plurality, we would just say, Eric Adams, you're the winner, and just fucking walk away. But we're not. We're doing it smarter. And even, I'll say this, even though this was not good for the progressives, it might be a good thing to let the conservatives win on the thing, so that way they won't fucking, you know, look at the progressives and say, look what your fucking ranking system did. Your damn ranking system fucked it all up. How did it fuck everything up? The progressives all fucking lost. All the progressives fucking lost and elected a conservative. If anything, you should love ranked choice voting, because ranked choice voting elects conservatives. Eric Adams, Kathryn Garcia, Andrew Yang, these are the top, you know, 3 out of the 4 candidates are conservatives. There's only one progressive, just Maya Wiley. So ranked choice voting elects conservatives. So it would make, you know, it would be stupid for them to make any kind of argument whatsoever, but at least now, I think you could say that ranked choice voting could be saved, because if they did, let's say, you know, Paperboy Prince got elected, they would like, what the fuck? Fuck ranked choice elections. Hell, that might have sunk ranked choice election if that would have happened. But that should have been a possibility, because people could have gone and voted for who they truly believed in. But not even Paperboy fucking voted correctly. Not even fucking, he voted for himself, and then no 2, 3, 4, or 5 votes. So that's not how ranked choice voting works. It's supposed to be the coalition building between Garcia and Yang. Garcia and Yang were, you know, in cahoots at the very end there. It didn't help Yang out, but it helped Garcia. It kept her in third fucking place. When people think of Yang, they thought of Garcia, right? That was Yang's number 2 choice, was Garcia. And so, yeah, Garcia, I would say, did it better, but she didn't understand ranked choice voting. None of these motherfuckers really understood ranked choice voting. The whole point was we could vote for paperboard prints without throwing our vote away. So that means there should have been a lot more, you know, dream votes. That one of these should have. I guess I'm a little disappointed that the top 5 are still the top fucking 5. Nobody broke in. All the 5 fucking bottom are still the bottom, you know, 5. Sean Donovan, he was the cutoff for the fucking top tier candidates. So the bottom 5 were, you know, nothing in the top 5 or something. And so it was like fucking shit. Jesus Christ, that's what the media was sitting there telling us, and you know, I don't know if. So yeah, that's a little bit about me. Eric Adams is winning. Maya Wiley, Kathryn Garcia, they would be the top 3 winners. You cannot declare a winner. If I was all 3 of those candidates, I would declare some kind of winner. You are still in the fucking race, right? Really, the only thing you can find out, there's 10 losers. But there's still 3 people that's at the very top, and so we got to do the tabulation. We got to count the absentee ballots. Let's see, anything else here that I want to talk about? No, for now, that's where we're at for right now. The biggest loser of all is Isaac Wright Jr., and they're all, you know, 10 losers, right? Diane Morales, Raymond McGuire, Sean Donovan, Aaron Foldenauer, Art Chang, Paperboard Prince, Jocelyn Taylor, Isaac Wright Jr. It'd be interesting to see who voted, you know, who did these people that would vote for Sean Donovan, who would they vote for number 2 and number 3 and number 4? Maybe they were all Paperboy Prince, his vote is just going to get thrown in the trash. He voted for himself. The 3rd round, he's going to get knocked out, and then his second vote, right? His vote will go to his second choice, which he didn't put, which means he wasted his vote. He might as well just, you know, wrote his name on a piece of paper and threw it in the fucking trash. So that was very stupid of Paperboy Prince. It also makes me wonder that maybe a lot of New Yorkers, because there was a poll that came out and said a lot of New Yorkers, and I think I'll end it off on this. This would probably be the biggest story for tonight, is that most New Yorkers fucked up ranked choice voting because they only picked one person at the top. They didn't understand it. They didn't want to rank. They didn't want to figure out 13 and figure out the top 5 of the 13. They didn't want to have to go through all that shit. And then they don't have written ballots, so they didn't have 30 days to think about this shit. They had to go, you know, into the voting booth and immediately, right then and there, they had to, you know, rank not just the mayor, but they had to rank the fucking, the comptroller and the city council and a whole bunch of other fucking races too. So there's a lot for, you know, it's a lot of headspace, a lot for a common New Yorker to take in, but just voting for one is the best way to get your vote thrown out. A lot of people, I'm just going to vote for Yang. Okay, you just voted for Yang, you just voted for Raymond McGuire, you just voted for Paperboy Prince. Well, if they, you know, get knocked out with the tabulation of the ranked choice elections, then you wasted your fucking vote. You might as well just vote it, you wrote your name on a piece, but throw it in the goddamn trash. So that was stupid. That was very stupid of you, Paperboy Prince. Paperboy Prince, you should have come up with the 2, 3, 4, and 5. That would have shown a lot of people a lot of different things. It would have shown that you can find love in other people. It shows that you're not an egomaniac. So, God, he had such a fucking good chance. I mean, this is a ranked choice election. If there's a chance that Paperboy Prince or Jocelyn Taylor or, you know, Art Chang or whoever, Isaac Wright Jr. could have made a splash, it was this year. It was this year. So I guess there's 4 years from now. 4 years from now, we could, you know, maybe actually do ranked choice elections correctly, New Yorkers, New York Cityers. You think you want to do your ranked choice elections correctly? And also, what an abysmal turnout. Fucking 600-something thousand. There's 8.5 million people in New York City. So I wonder what the percentage of the turnout rate. It doesn't seem like it was. It seems like it's like 50% or some shit. But let's go down the numbers for one last time. It updated several times. 192,000 to 135,000. Eric Adams over Maya Wiley, 31% to 22% to 21%. Kathryn Garcia, 128,000. And then Andrew Yang, 73,000. Scott Stringer, 33,000. Diane Morales, 18,000. And then 15,000, 14,000, 5, 4, 2, 1, all the rest of them. So there you go. Eric Adams, Maya Wiley, Kathryn Garcia, they're still in this thing. Andrew Yang, if he did concede, he did it prematurely. I believe he did it way fucking prematurely. Why would I have done early voting? Why would I have done absentee voting? You know, it's almost like he didn't give a shit about the people that went out and voted for him. If you voted in early ranking or did the absentee thing, they don't count them until later on. And so, yeah, you quit before all the fucking ballots were counted. It makes no sense to me. That makes no sense to me. Even if last place in ranked choice voting, everybody matters in a ranked choice election, because their votes get, you know, they get knocked out and then their votes get redistributed. So that's why you have to count all the votes up before you can even begin the tabulation. You got to get all those votes in, and then the tabulation begins. So I think 2 weeks should be plenty of time. 1 month, too much time. There's shenanigans, frankly, if there's more than 2 weeks. But, yeah, there you go. There you go. The big headline for tonight might be New Yorkers, you know, vote Eric Adams, Wiley, Kathryn, Garcia as the top three, confused about how they did it and didn't know what the fuck. Most New Yorkers voted one candidate and not anybody else because they don't know shit. They don't know how to vote. They don't know democracy. They've been taught in public schools, which is just a totalitarian, fascist, hierarchical hellscape. So there you go. Congratulations, Kathryn, Garcia, Wiley, and Eric Adams.